for joining me for Veg with Lisa Live. I'm Lisa. This is definitely live. And today I'm going to cook up the biggest, baddest, bestest ever pot of garden veggie soup. So I was hanging out with some girlfriends this past weekend and we were talking about soup. And we were all like, oh my God, I love soup, and who doesn't love soup, and why don't people eat soup in the summer? And I was like, I eat soup in the summer, hot soup, cold soup, all the soups. And one of my girlfriends said, I want to learn how to make vegetable soup. I'm like, oh my God, you have come to the right place. So that is what we're going to do here today. And I am going to get started. I've already got started in my big red soup pot. Hi, Rob. Type in the comments, first of all. Say hi. Let me know that you're here and that you can see me and that you can hear me. Okay. I have this awesome big red soup pot that was a gift, hint, hint. And in it, so first of all, you really can't go wrong. This isn't a recipe. Well, it is, and I can send it to you if you want it, but it's more of a method. And a lot of soups start the same way. You saute some things in some extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, things that smell good when you saute them. And what I've got sauteing in here, I so wish you could smell this. I've got onions, I've got garlic, I've got carrots, I've got celery, and then a secret little ingredient, I've got some fresh ginger chopped. Not too much though, because it gets pretty spicy. So it's amazing. It smells great. A little bit of salt, I already put that in there. A little bit of freshly ground cracked pepper. Woohoo! Okay. Then I'm going to add, this is one of my second secret soup ingredient, some sweet red bell pepper. You can use any color of bell pepper that you like. I like the red, the green, no, sorry, I don't like the green. I like the red, the yellow, the orange. These add a little bit of sweetness. And I hope you're counting because one of the best things we can do for our health is eat a lot of varieties of plants. Potatoes! I was just on a call with a client yesterday and I'm like, do you eat potatoes? And she was like, yes. And I was like, yay! We don't need to be afraid of potatoes. Red potatoes are especially good in soup because they hold their shape. So really all you're going to do is throw all of these different veggies in your soup pot. That's it. That's so simple. Okay, let's take a break and count, shall we? Onions, carrots, celery, garlic, ginger, sweet red bell pepper, potatoes. I've already got 7 different varieties of plants. Why does that matter? Because our gut health is super duper important because of our immunity and our mental health and our immune system and all that stuff. And the way to have a healthy gut, one of the most important ways is to have a variety of plants in your diet for the variety of fiber, for a healthy gut microbiome. Woohoo, baby. Okay, so I already lost count, but I've got all that in there. Next up, some tomatoes. Now, I like a really tomatoey soup. If you are not so crazy about it, you could leave these out. You could use a little extra veggie broth. I also just wanted to show you, like, I don't work for Costco, but these canned organic tomatoes that they have are really great. They come in a case, and I don't know, they're like less than $1 a can when you buy them by the case. So that's pretty cool. Okay, speaking of veggie broth, I'm going to toss some veggie broth in. And I did make my own. You do not have to. If you buy it in those aseptic containers, make sure you read the ingredients because there's some of the worst offenders of things that you don't want to put in your soup pot, much less in your belly. Okay, so that is that. Who knows what these are? I love lima beans. Am I weird? So Rob and I were at the grocery store last night and they had dried lima beans from that brand Rancho Gordo. You know, I don't work for them either, but I love their beans. I was like, oh my gosh, let's put lima beans in the soup. You don't have to put any beans in your soup. Chickpeas would also be good, but we are lima lovers in this house. Look at that. Doesn't it look amazing? Look at all those colors. Talk about eating all of the rainbow. Maybe some more freshly ground black pepper. I love to put some shredded greens in my garden veggie soup. So you can see basically this time of the year, it's so easy. Go out into your garden, go to the farmer's market, just buy whatever looks good. If you don't want potatoes, put zucchini, right? Like just have fun, get creative. You really can't go too wrong. Shredded greens. I like kale probably, or Swiss chard would have been my first choice in here. But I didn't have any, and I had some collard greens. So that is what I threw in my soup pot. All right, let's turn up the heat here a little bit. Okay, now I like to put a little splash of vinegar. That is the fancy French pronunciation for vinegar. You could use apple cider. I'm gonna do balsamic today because I think that'll be nice with those greens and the tomatoes. You're gonna notice, perhaps, that I did not put any sugar. A lot of times when we make things with tomatoes, it calls for sugar. I mean, maybe it's just a pinch, but we don't need it. Like, we get enough added sugar in stuff. We don't need to be putting it in our own food, in our own bellies. That's one of the reasons why I like that sweet bell pepper in here. The sweetness from that bell pepper kind of perks up the sweetness in the tomatoes, and this is gonna be sweet enough, especially with that balsamic vinegar. Yeah, so all you do, you throw all of these things in your pot. Natalie, how much easier could it get? And then, since this is garden veggie soup, herb me. But you know what? I'm not going to put the herbs in yet. I'm going to show you. So I like to stir my herbs in off the heat. And by the magic power of, where do I put this lid? Television. I'm going to show you this pot that I've already cooked up. Can you see all that? Oh, the steam. I'm getting a veggie soup facial. So yeah, the veggies lose color a little bit, but that's okay. That's because they're cooked. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So now is when I would stir in my herbs. In this particular recipe, I like, particularly because of the tomatoes, basil. I like thyme. I like dill early in the season like this. You could do, hi Grace, thanks for tuning in. You could do parsley. Actually, I think I chopped some parsley. I just went out into my garden and I picked what was growing. Like, things that grow together usually go together. So it's that time of the year. What's fresh where you are? And if you don't have anything fresh, no worries. Just go to the supermarket and see what looks best. That's really all there is to do. So I've stirred this up. Look at that. It is absolutely a bowl of beautiful veg. Okay, dare I try to count everything I put in there? Again, I've got onions, I've got garlic, I've got carrots, I've got celery, I've got ginger, potatoes, sweet bell pepper, lima beans, tomatoes, herbs. That's 10 different varieties, and that's being very conservative in the count of plants that you're gonna put in your pot, in your belly. Okay, but since it's almost time for lunch, I'm just, you know what? I don't use a ladle, I use this. I think that works just as well. It's super handy. Gonna serve up my soup. I always like to top it with some sprouts. We're growing our own these days. You don't have to, but it's kind of fun. Why not? All right, let me turn you up here. Oh, it's gonna be, let's just see. Absolutely delicious. Garden veggie soup. Thank you for joining me for VegWithLisa.live. If you want the recipe, reach out and I'll shoot it over to you. Soup all day long, baby.